scientist, probably, the man behind Google Brain, Andrew Ng, right? So he said, AI is an electricity. AI is like an electricity, how electricity transformed industries 100 years ago, right? So electricity is not, we just don't use electricity for, say, charging our mobile phones or maybe our laptops, etc., right? So electricity is powering our entire uh, industry and workforce. So same way, AI is going to be, okay, please don't play with the scribble. Uh, okay, where is control? Okay, yeah. Um, so AI is the new electricity, right? How electricity transformed, the whole of the industries, right? So earlier it used to be a complete manpower based, right? People used to, put in a lot of their manual effort and probably moving things around, right? So once the electricity came in, everything got transformed. It's not just one sector, but entire the work that was dependent on it, the human power got changed. Electricity had universal application, has universal application. Same way, AI is going to have or is already having a universal application, meaning there is no major industry that is being untouched by AI. Right? So from healthcare to transportation to analytics to robotics, you name it, everywhere AI is already there. Economic value creation. There are a lot of forecasts and numbers that clearly state that AI is transforming and adding a lot of economic value to the global uh, GDP. So just to give a global perspective, the market size of AI is expected to grow at 19.2% compounded annual growth rate. That's from $700 billion currently to $3.6 trillion by 2030, right? That's going to be huge. If you can think, our current annual GDP is around 3 trillion odd India's, right? So that's additional, that's how much is purely contributed by AI. Okay, this is at global level. GDP contribution, AI's global GDP, AI alone will contribute, to around $15 trillion to the GDP, right? So let's say you buy a laptop, maybe you pay 50,000 rupees to that, but you produce, total revenue of, let's say, 2 lakh rupees from that, right? So that part of that contributes to the GDP. So same way, so AI alone plus its indirect contribution to the GDP is $15 trillion by 2030. And along with that, AI software market, which is also expected to grow at a 30% annual growth rate. Right. So that these numbers show that AI has got huge potential, and it's all, it's all going to grow day by day. India AI industry specifically, even though it's relatively smaller compared to the global growth, but it's still huge in terms of percentage, right? So from current $6 billion expected to grow up to $31 billion with 27% growth rate, and it also is going to contribute around $500 billion, right? If the according to the projection, if India is going to be at $5 trillion GDP, then it's roughly 10% of that's going to be coming from AI. And of course, there is Gen AI impact as well. The most of the share is being taken by Gen AI alone in this contribution. So these numbers show that there is huge potential for AI in India as well as globally. I'm going to take all the questions towards the end. Yes, please drop them in the message box. Yep, just to not miss the flow. Okay. Cool. So India's AI sector will create around 2.3 million jobs. This is another statistics by Bain Company. And demand is going to outpower the supply, right? So that's the key takeaway here. If you see India alone, so this is the demand and this is going to the supply. So around 2.3 million, there's 23 lakhs year specific jobs that are going to be created. And there will be only 1.2 million, that's 12 lakhs jobs, 12 lakhs supply, is going to be there. There's going to be a huge gap. Similarly, across all, other countries, there is, projection that demand is always going to outpower the supply. So, which again means that there is huge potential there as well. Okay, so now coming to the most important question, that is $1 million question. We can say that what is AI? What is ML? What are AI agents, right? So let's try to demystify, by using some of the simple analogies. All right. Okay, so I would like to take transportation as an example. What's transportation? Transportation is a means of shifting or moving goods or people from one place to another using some sort of vehicle, right? So it's just a concept. Same way, artificial intelligence is the general field of creating systems that mimic our human brain. That's it. So AI at a high level, one can think of it as a concept to mimic the human intelligence, right? Now, if you go back to transportation example again, cars, right? Cars are one of the ways in which you can realize the concept of transportation. So if the transportation is the concept of moving things from one place to another, cars are one of the ways to achieve that. Same way, machine learning is the way in which you can realize or bring AI to reality. Hope that part is clear now. So AI, but today we loosely use AI, ML, DL, everything interlocked, but that's fine. But there is a subtle difference between these two. ML is the way to realize the AI concept. Yeah. Cool. Now let's drill down a little bit, right? Let's take supercars. Now, are they part of cars? Yes. Are they used in transportation? Yes. Now, what's so special about supercar is they've got better engine, they've got more horsepower, they can cruise at probably 400 kilometers an hour, right? So they are, now you know that they're more powerful version of cars, right? Same way, if you think deep learning is a part of machine learning, but they are much more powerful. They can handle large amount of data. They can probably remember entire data in internet. They may be able to translate from one language to another. They can create images, right? So deep learning are specialized field within machine learning, but they can, they're much more powerful, right? So now going one more level deeper, if we take Ferrari as a particular example within supercars, right? So Ferrari is one type of supercar. Imagine you can, get Ferrari for a rent, or you can get Ferrari, you can own your own Ferrari. So if you take it for rent, right? So you have to pay monthly installments, probably, and then use it like how you want it. And then once you're done, you don't own it basically, right? You can't customize it too much because somebody else owns it, right? But you can use it. So if you, on the other hand, if you own it, huge upfront cost, but you can get to customize that, right? I hope you get some idea around that. So I'm talking about generative AI here. So generative AI tool, you can think of it as a specialized, version within the deep learning. But typically somebody else will build it, of course, and they will host it as a service, right? Like you can think of it, ChatGPT as one of the tool, Claude, Gemini, things like that, right? So probably we don't own them because they're too costly to maintain. A lot of technical skills required, but you can rent it, right? So that's how you can use it. And finally, the hybrids you can think of it like in a combination of multiple AI tools and probably LLMs and everything combined. Like how you can see here, right? It's a combination of our Rolls and Royce and maybe Ferrari and then maybe, I don't know, Bentley or something like that. And then, you can think of it like a combination of multiple tools, right? So that's nothing but the AI agents there. So it's not like one single LM that is doing some tasks. So AI agents probably combine multiple tools and stuff like that, and then they can become much more powerful than the plain LLMs. Cool. So hope this part is clear. So give me a clear in the message if you got these concepts. Okay. 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 Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Let's get into AI. Yes. Now, who wants to master AI skills? Right? Give me a B if you want to master AI skills. Okay. Obviously. Okay. Cool. probably everybody, right? More or less. Cool. Why should you master AI skills? All right, so let's start with the basics. The most important thing is the leverage. Now, AI is the most powerful productivity multiplier of this decade. I think we all agree, or probably would have already experienced, that those who know AI versus those who don't know AI, the important thing is the one they have is definitely is gonna have the upper hand, right? So there are multiple ways in which AI will have you can use AI as a leverage, right? So if you are a leader or somebody who works in a large organization, you can have infinite set of interns, right, doing all your works for you. It could be as simple as transcribing meeting transcripts, or writing summaries, creating PPTs, etc. Right? If you are somebody who has got okay, there is a small bug there. That's fine. So if you are somebody who has got a lot of industry experience, let's say you got 10 plus years of industry experience in some domain, so you can always transfer that knowledge easily using something called as LLM playbooks, right? You can create custom GPTs, or in some form you can transfer your knowledge so that somebody else can consume without you having directly available there, right? So this is possible now. So instead of you answering every questions, you create one LLM agent which can simulate or you mimic you, and you can transfer the knowledge as well. And of course you can uh, there are a lot of industry numbers that say that using a lot of companies have reduced the EBIT uh, profit, like earning before interest and tax, with specifically with the help of AI solutions. Right? There are a lot of such numbers that are available there. Second, building authority. If you are somebody who knows AI, how AI works, you can definitely speak with confidence in front of others, right? I'm sure probably all of you would have experienced somebody who is already good, or who has better sense of AI, right? The way they speak, right? You can always feel that there is much more confidence, and the authority in which they speak. And of course, there is financial rewards. AI-driven professionals get higher bonuses and consulting incomes. So this is one statistics again from Bain, I guess. So this is the average hike the AI professionals have got across different age categories. If you can see, irrespective of age groups, everybody has got good hike, especially after upskilling, or having some or skills related to AI. So it's somebody who is at a beginner level or somebody who is at a senior level, 10, 12 plus years of experience. Still, they can get expect good salary hikes with AI skills, right? So this is a industry standard out there. Okay, now yes, definitely there are a lot of financial rewards, right, which are associated with the AI. One of the interesting things is like a year back or so, uh, Netflix had posted a job role of EA product managers, right, for 900K US dollars. Like if you take it's close to million, means around 7 to 8 crores, right? That's an annual package just for EA product manager, right? And there's already other statistics about EA adding $15 trillion to the global GDP, and also there are other uh, statistics that say the average wage premium that one can expect being an AI expertise, right? But there is something that is stopping us, right? So what is quietly holding you back in the AI era? Everyone is talking about AI, but I don't know where to begin. This is one of the very, very common things I have heard people saying, right? How many of you feel this? That everyone is talking, but I'm not sure where to begin. Right? Give me a me in the message box. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes. Me. Okay. It's quite natural, right? When I began, like maybe 5 6 years back, when I was in the exact same position, yes, I can totally relate to that. Guidance is necessary, yes. So what happens is it's all clutter. One and second, it's the field is so fast, it's so wide. We always get confused, where to start, right? Where to begin. Second, I lead a team, but I don't feel confident about talking about AI in boardrooms or in meetings. Right? This is another common concern I see uh, people talking about that. So again, it stems from the fact that lack of AI knowledge, is one of the things that might be holding you back, or maybe it is deboosting your morale, or reducing your confidence, to talk openly about that. And my leadership role is becoming irrelevant in the AI era. This is another important and important thing that is creeping most of us. Do you know that there are tools that can do team meetings? They can handle team meetings right now, right? There are Scrum Masters, AI Scrum Masters. Like for example, I saw one tool where the tool will uh, take updates from different team members. It will take note down, and it will also follow up with whatever tasks one has to complete. Right, everything online. So you just log into the Zoom, and then it will handle the entire team meeting day by day, and then it will submit that summary to its boss. Right. So a Scrum Master's role there probably is kind of you know reduced. Right. So there are a lot of other examples that we can see across how different kind of leadership roles also becoming getting automated in the AI era. And tech is changing super fast than I can keep up. So this is like it's very obvious because we see that a lot of tools every day. We can see a bunch of tools getting released. On the tech side, a lot of new technology, new updates, and new research papers getting created or added, and a lot of tools getting added, and it becomes super tough to keep up with that, right? Feeling stagnated, yeah, yeah, right. So totally understandable. Cool. Now, what happens if we don't act now? The most important question is now. What happens if we don't act now? Potential job loss, right? And we see that a lot of these companies have already reported openly or indirectly have started, right, from last 2 years, right? I just saw this like a recent news where Microsoft is expected to cut off mid-level managers, right? Specifically non-tech roles, correct? So they're trying to map or maybe rebalance more tech roles with the less managerial roles. And same way, there are a lot of I think every role, every industry is going to get transformed in some way or other. They'll all will lead to AI specific roles, right? So that's going to be one of the potential challenge. And this is Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Meta, Facebook. This is what he said about mid-level software engineers, right? So let's listen to him.
Probably in 2025, we at Meta, as well as the other companies that are basically working on this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that you have at your company that can write code. And once you have that, then in the beginning it'll be really expensive to run, then you can get it to be more efficient, and then over time we'll get to the point where a lot of the code in our apps and including the AI that we generate is actually going to be built by AI engineers instead of people engineers.
Right. So what's he basically saying is that all the mid-level engineering roles, probably whatever the task that they're doing they're doing right now is getting replaced by AI. Right. So it can be a little costly and tough at the current state, but he's predicting that it's going to be uh, replaced by AI engineers soon. Right. And the other thing, right? If you don't take action right now, you may be missing out on a lot of good opportunities, right? So I'm talking about cost of ignorance. By not taking actions immediately, or maybe delaying the actions, you may be unknowingly losing a lot of important milestones or races or roles, right? So the cost of ignorance can be huge. And if you are somebody who is trying to figure out still, I think you might already be late, right? While others would have already figured it, or others would have already taken the action, while you are stuck, figuring it out. And you will remain a consumer of AI content, right? Not a creator of outcomes. So what you're saying here is that if you keep scrolling for different AI news without taking any action, right? Maybe end of 6 months or end of 1 year, you'll probably have more news, but you won't have taken any action. So these are some of the things probably might impact directly, might be already impacting us without even us realizing that. Right? This is one of the important quotes I came across from the famous author Yuval Noah Harari. He says, 21st century job market will be characterized by constant change, requiring individuals to adapt continually. What is he basically saying is, in the 21st century, we will see a new technology coming in every few years, 3 to 5 years, and we'll have to continuously upskill ourselves. And those who are in the industry for quite some time now would already realize that how many times our technology has changed, right? So like from uh, web development to mobile, Android, iOS development to big data to analytics, to cloud computing somewhere, and then now AI, right? From last 10, 15 years, I think we have seen multiple times that shift is happening. And it's going to continue in the same way. And only thing that remains constant is the change, right? So I think this is one of the important things we all should remember, that reinventing oneself multiple times throughout the career. Right? It's not like the earlier generation where you learn one skill and that will be sufficient for the whole career. That's not going to be the case in 21st century. Now, how to approach AI, right? So one simple funda is to remember that AI is for automation.